Working very hard for mother-in-law's party.
Have you never? No, on the video. No. We must show Elsie, Midgie, the video of the wedding.
Yeah.
When?
I don't know. Sarah?
Well, not yet. Now hang on till I finish yet.
Isn't it?
No, I'm just trying to sort out.
You're just trying to rearrange it.
Another one.
Why don't you have them long?
Because you see all these things.
Well, that's the way God made them, with stalks. What other flowers you putting in there, pigs?
What other flowers?
Yeah, in there.
Well, I picked all the hydrangeas I had, and I was only going to do 2 bowls.
And you know what you can do? Have you got a cucumber? No, that's the one thing I didn't buy. You mean to put scales? Just a few scales round here, if you don't have. What else use this? Are you still using this? No. Okay, that's the idea.
Charlie teaches cooking, no? Do you Alice? You're Kingswood.
Yeah.
One of our unpaid staff members.
I didn't think you were going to get finished last night. How did you go for eating?
Some of the each for Peg's 80th birthday party. You notice that the meat is beautifully carved by yours truly. KP's coming along just now to act as barman. I think we're going to have quite a bit of food over. But it looks great.
Do you want to see which is heading right?
Yes, left on the right. Just go and show her. She's all right. Oh, she's fine. Just ask her if she's all right. When the jumps landed, and all of them,
You want to commentate? You want to commentate?
Well, it's a very hot day. It's about 39 in the shade here. And of course the tree only covers a certain bit, but here they all are, some of them sitting outside and some inside. But they all seem very happy at the moment. That's Frankie there, straight-headed Midgie, and his girlfriend on the right, Marge. Very nice ladies. So, and that's Elspeth there, laughing away. Okay. You might have to shut your eyes. But it's a freezing cold day. And it's grey. And it's raining. And the wind is blowing.
What else?
And we're in the middle of a city, a big city. And there's a gentleman walking through the town with his collar up like this against the wind. And he's walking fast and he's bitterly cold and he's just been to see his wife in hospital. Now, why is this man not upset and sad? He's very elated and he's on top of the world.
She's dead.
No? He's just been to see his wife in hospital and to see his baby girl for the first time. And it's 1914 and it's Edinburgh, the 5th of April, and this is my mother's father, John Hood, who's coming home from seeing her for the first time. And he's absolutely delighted because she's the most beautiful little girl with the hugest brown eyes you've ever seen. Anyway, she grew up in Scotland as a little girl would do normally. She helped in the house. She was apparently a very quiet child, which I've heard from your brother. And she did. It's very hard to
Not
believe.
pigs,
I
that's
must
for
say.
sure.
She helped in the house, which I don't find too difficult to believe. And then she was sent away to school as a boarder in a school called St. Margaret's, Stirlingshire. And there she excelled at sport. She was a very good sportswoman. And her favourite thing And I have to tell the story because everyone who's here likes you and will forgive the story. But her favourite sport was gymnastics. And at the school, there were 8 students chosen out of the whole school as star gymnasts. And my mum was #1 of the star gymnasts. She was a brilliant gymnast. And the school was celebrating its 130th birthday. And they decided that they would put on a gymnasium display and that the 8 top gymnasts would perform. So on the morning, everybody arrived, the parents, the old girls, to see this lovely day and to come back to their school. And the star gymnast took up her position. She got a wonderful clap and everybody thought this is marvelous. She did her parallel bars perfectly. And the time came for her to perform on the horse. It was a very simple vault actually. She had to run up, jump on the springboard and go into a handstand. But unfortunately, as she was trying to get up into a handstand, there was a loud explosion. And this star gymnast broke wind. And could not get up into a handstand. Very true, I might say. So she was told, don't worry, Pegs, try again. And she was so terrified that it would happen again, that this wonderful gymnast couldn't get up. And that was her story. Anyway, she left Scotland and her parents emigrated to South Africa in 1934 at the age of 20. And I think it was then that your life really started being more fun. It was a lovely sunny climate in Pretoria, and she very soon became the belle of the Pretoria Young. She worked as a secretary for W.E. Jones, who was a stockbroker. And every time I used to go home from Rhodes very tired and say I'm exhausted with the admissions, she'd say, oh chum, you know, really, you don't know what you're talking about because I work for a stockbroker. And I used to get home at 2 in the morning.
Oh,
And
who
then
was
I
the
felt maybe
stockbroker?
admission was terrible.
Yeah, that's a good bit.
That wasn't work, that was play.
Well, for her playing side of it, she used to do, just to relax, she took up ballroom dancing. And this is also an amazing story because she won the provincial championships. She was a brilliant ballroom dancer, and to this very day, when Mum gets onto the dance floor, I sit down because I cannot compete with her. She's very, very good. Anyway, perhaps that's what caught the eye of one Noel Charles Castle, a very eligible young bachelor in Pretoria. And they fell in love, and unfortunately Dad was then transferred or had to go and travel overseas, and most of their courtship was done through letter writing. And I must say, I think some of the most beautiful love letters I've ever read were written to Mum. And I think, what do you call pudding or something? Anyway, it was Pudding. That was her nickname, but they got married in 1939. And then after that, stayed together for 40 years when unfortunately Dad died. And I'm just sad he can't be with us today. Anyway, then we moved across to Johannesburg, where Mum, what did you do? You did so much there. Her sport always was very prominent, and Dad was a Bisley shotist and a Springbok shot, small ball. And Mum wasn't to be outdone, so she took up shooting. And I think the highlight of your life, as I can remember, was there was a Springbok shot who was a champion of South Africa called Don Sutherland. And it was at a Bisley in Bloemfontein. And my mother was the only person who managed to beat Don Sutherland. She got, a possible was 100 and she got 99. There was a shot through that target, and I can remember as a child being shown this. It was absolutely perfect, and the one slightly out on the right. And Don Sutherland came up to her and he said, Pigs, how the hell did you manage to read the wind? But she did. There's a thief running through this, as you will see. However, at 80 years old, I think it is very, very, very possible to enjoy the wind as well. However, Mum then went on and she did all kinds of things. She was a wonderful wife, a wonderful mother, and a really fantastic, fantastic grandmother. And I can remember she used to sew for everybody, and she used to make my own clothes. I don't know why she can't make my clothes now, but that seems to have fallen by the way. And she made me, I can remember on board ship going overseas when I was about 16, she made me a cracker outfit, and I won the prize. Do you remember that? The best outfit in the fancy dress. And I was given an autograph book as a prize. And I remember being so thrilled about this. And I gave it to my parents to do something for me. Dad did a lovely drawing. And Mummy wrote something, and I thought, you know, really, surely she could have done something better than this. I mean, more creative. But what she wrote was, the only way for a woman to remain forever young is to grow old gracefully. And I think perhaps this is something that now has really come to fruition, because Mum, for all her nonsense and her wind, is a very graceful old lady. And I drink to your health, and I congratulate you on reaching the age and being with us all today. And thank you all for coming and sharing it with us.
Now, speech making is not my forte. I really feel that those sort of things should be left to the midges of the world.
What about the duties?
Thanks, John.
I have made a few notes because as one grows older, the memory fades. And you will forgive me if I refer to these few little notes that I've made. First of all, I would like to thank the good Lord for this glorious autumn day, which has made it possible for all of us to be out of doors. And what does one say to dear Judith, who has gone to a great deal of trouble to arrange this occasion in the middle of an exceptionally tight schedule? She leaves for PE later this afternoon and flies to Durban at 8:30 tonight, and catches the flight to Durban at 8:30 tonight. Sorry about this, chaps. Where she has to spend a week on roads business. A very big thank you too to Midge, who has kindly allowed us to make use of his home, which only a few weeks ago was inundated with dozens of builders, electricians, painters. Will any of us ever forget the past few months, Midge?
I hope we do.
As quickly as possible.
Happy memories.
But I think you will all agree that the end result has been a great success, and the old house transformed into something new. Thank you all for being here. I hope you will enjoy yourselves. Not rush away too soon, and stay until all fall out.
Oh, pigs.
Right. And for those of you that would like some lunch, you must tell me it's all ready. Luckily it's finished. I finished the cooking.
I mean, she really does have a hectic schedule, but everything goes.
And so say all of us. And so say all of us.
Say all of us. For she's a jolly good fellow. For she's a jolly good fellow. For she's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us. Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Now, Mumsy, are you going to do a vault for us this afternoon?
Try it.
You know, I can remember also
Downwind.
off the thing as a
That's right.
when I was a kid of about 8, I used to be packed off to bed, but I peeped through, and there she was on the back of a chair, you know,
Shut up,
Then
darling.
Paul Douglas doing handstands at a party. She was always getting up to nonsense.
Amazing. Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Amazing, you know.